Girls, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining and welcome to another Push Start webinar. Uh, I'm super stoked for today's topic. If you're a CrossFit affiliate owner, the Intramural Open or the annual Open is one of those things that can either be an absolute grand slam for your community, or it could be a kind of chaotic miss opportunity. And it really comes down to, in my opinion, it really comes down to the leadership at your gym and what they do to organize and build hype and talk about the Open. So today I have the legendary Craig Howard, owner of Diablo CrossFit. You are legend status, sir. Um, Thank you for joining us today. I
Yeah.
know we chatted earlier this week about stuff that we're going to be discussing today. Um, and during that chat, you had some phenomenal insights and tactics on what it actually takes to host a rock solid event. I know even after having run at least a handful. I mean, I started doing the Open at the gym when they started. I think in 2010 was the first year, and I remember earlier this week you said a few things I was like, huh, I never thought of it that way. And that was great. So I'm looking forward to sharing that expertise today with everybody. Um, so let's jump actually logistics real quick. Before we jump in, I want to let everyone know that we have our other legend, Greg. So we have Craig and Greg. He's from Push Press and he's going to be in chat today. Last time we ran a webinar, it got a little chaotic with the amount of engagement that was going on in chat. So he is here to make sure that everyone can drop questions into chat or preferably the Q&A and we won't miss them. So Greg, I know I already spoke to you about this, but I'll pause every now and then. And if you get a question in chat that you feel is relevant, feel free to interrupt myself or Craig and just be like, hey, I got something, and we'll bring it up right then and there. All right. You guys ready to get going?
Yeah.
Before I actually pull up my slide, Craig, we spoke about something. I know we're talking about three main things when it comes to the Intramural Open: the marketing, the building the hype, building the awareness, and then we want to talk about how to incentivize the behaviors that we want, how to drive participation. We also want to talk about how to make it fun, uniquely fun, so that only CrossFit affiliates can do this kind of event, right? But we had a chat earlier this week where we discussed kind of in the marketing and hype side, but how the owner or how the leadership at a given gym needs to frame the perspective of the Open in order for it to be successful. And we actually had quite a few questions come in from registrations and attendees about this specific topic. Like, what was one of them? How do we keep members engaged who think they aren't ready or intimidated by the Open? Or how to get members to participate when the hype of doing the Open has waned after years of doing it? We had some people that were kind of like on the fence about like, why should we do it? And now this is not an official CrossFit HQ call, right? But from a gym owner's perspective, what do you think is most important that other affiliate owners know or coaches know about running the affiliate in the global landscape? I'd love to hear your take on this, Craig.
Yeah. And it's something that has been particularly relevant this year,
Yep.
primarily because open registrations last year were significantly down from the year before. And there's quite a number of social media influencers and media people that discuss it and use the number of participants in the Open as a kind of an interest gauge in CrossFit and a measurement gauge for the health of CrossFit overall globally. And that the decline in participation for a number of different factors that happened last year. But that decline in participation led a lot of people to believe CrossFit was dying, CrossFit's not popular anymore. There's other competition events that are coming up, like High Rocks, for example, that are usurping CrossFit's presence in the space. And for me, that got me essentially interested in really trying to drive participation in the Open to help with not only my business, but the overall health of CrossFit. What I realized looking back at the performance over 16 years of uh, Diablo and my member participation in the Open is the years that we really nailed participation and we had an active events throughout it were resulted in, this could be causation, could be correlation, but it resulted in our best years financially
Hmm.
that we've had at the same time. And as I kind of dug a little deeper into it, I realized that what we do in the Open, the creation of the events around it, whether it was 5 weeks or 3 weeks, depending upon the length of the Open, the Friday Night Lights, the other events that we did around it, the theme building stuff, all of those things were engagement opportunities for me as an owner and my coaches with the community that carried over for a long period of time throughout the rest of the year. It results in media content being produced out of my gym, people sharing pictures and on social media their experiences, people recruiting their friends to participate and be a part of it. And again, the net effect was an opportunity. It was building my business and growing my business, building my membership base. And it was
Yeah,
so when I talk to owners now about the Open and why we do need to do the Open is it's it's a it's healthy for your business, but it's also even better. It's a give back to CrossFit. CrossFit's almost 70,000 registrations this year. It's more than double what we did last year. And I think everybody would agree that the energy and enthusiasm around CrossFit and the Open this year is much higher than it's been. You can feel the energy, and you can even there was a town hall recently with management, and some people said one of the JD Kuntz who runs affiliates said a number of people said to him, it really feels like the management team at CrossFit is much more positive and excited about where things are going. And so that's the give back. And when I tell my members, hey, join up for the Open, be a part of the Open, it's your give back to CrossFit, this methodology that has probably changed your life for the positive. It's a
absolutely.
way to do that.
Absolutely. And yeah, you were talking about as the benefit to the business, as a benefit to the methodology, and that all makes sense. And but when you're talking about as a benefit to the business and it creates more opportunities for you to create connections and build a relationship with your members. Greg, I know we spoke about this at our keynote. Do you remember the specific stat where our data team dug it up? If you have a member that goes through that participates in all 3 weeks of the Open, they were more than it was like 78 or 82% more likely to still be a member 1 year later.
That
So
sounds that's roughly correct.
I
Yes.
think it was around 80%. And I wish I don't know why I didn't have that stat pulled up for this webinar, but I do, as Craig was saying, that popped in my head. And that alone should be a motivator for gym owners and
Here,
coaches.
here's something again, I have these kind of these moments of these epiphanies from time to time. I started thinking because my goal was with my members, I built it up ahead of time. I wanted to really hit the leaderboard. This was like literally hitting the first movement in a workout as hard as possible so you can win the first movement. In the past, I looked at all the past opens. No one ever focuses on that affiliate participation leaderboard and where you stand. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to hit that first day hard. I wanted to be number one in the world. Some freaking huge affiliate in Portugal, though, decided that they wanted to hit 200. We hit 100. We ended up at second as CrossFit Portugal Black. Amazing gym, by the way. Speaking of gym envy, but um, what was cool about that was that energy and that excitement really just like immediately the next day, more people. We ended up with 150 people signed up as a result of just kind of creating some excitement around that first day. And then people started reaching out to me. Affiliates started reaching out to me. And the energy level just it took off. And just from really kind of putting my foot on the gas on the first day.
Yeah,
And what I thought about here's something to think about too. This is the epiphany I had. Walking my dogs early in the morning. I started thinking about those 150 people that signed up, and I thought, you know what? those 150 people are going to be with me guaranteed at least through the first day of the Open. Like they're going
Oh
to
yeah.
stay on my membership ranks all the way through the Open. And it's like, now I'm at 200. And I'm like, oh, yes, I got 200 people that I know are going to keep paying their memberships for 200.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I love
And
your Greg statistics. That's even better. Shit, if I can get them all the way through 70%, stay on more than a year,
it was something, it was more
that's
than two
huge.
thirds. I remember that. It was an astounding percentage. But as soon as I heard it, I was like, you know what? It makes sense. So let's talk about
Mhm.
that. Actually, Craig, I would love to talk about your, that win the first movement. I want to know about the tactics, the strategies that you deployed or utilized to get those first 150 people. I want to pop up this right here. So now you guys should be seeing. Oh no, I don't want me to be on the screen. Let's just do let's do that. But
Yeah,
hopefully viewers can still see Craig, myself, and Greg. And so we're gonna be talking about these three things, obviously. Um, where are my notes? Of course, it's not going to pop up. But marketing to drive awareness and hype is basically, hey, how are you talking? Who are you talking to? And what is the message? What is the call to action that you are putting out so that the most amount of your members can know about the open, the event, and what it's supposed to do and why they're supposed to sign up. So then we want to talk about how to design and implement incentives so it drives behaviors that you want over the course of 3 weeks, namely a high amount of participation and camaraderie building activities. Maybe you need judges. So maybe we build incentivize. I can't say the word. We incentivize signing up to judge. There we go.
yeah,
And then finally, we're going to talk about some ways to make the event uniquely fun for your gym. Your community is probably unique. Most communities are at CrossFit affiliates, and you as the owner or as the coaching staff probably has some insight as to what makes your people tick and what's going to drive them to create some core memories around this event. So let's see. I'm so bad sharing. So let's go back to what you did, Craig, for awareness and
sure.
hype, for marketing. What was the message? What was the call to action that you put out that got so much participation in signups?
Yep. So it started really early when they announced the open dates pretty early, and then gave us a firm date for registrations back in December. The registrations were going to begin January 14th. So early on, I put it. I do a weekly email to my members, and I put it in the email that I want Diablo to have its biggest open ever. We had our biggest open ever 2 years before. Last year was close, but I told them this year, I want to go for it. Now I'm it's somewhat loaded because I know it's our 20th anniversary as an affiliate, and so I really wanted to make an impression to CrossFit itself that look, even a 20-year affiliate that's been around a long time can stand out amongst its peers. And so that was the message. Look, I want to have the biggest open ever. That's all I said. And then I shared it with my coaches was the next thing. We do a weekly coaches meeting. I told my coaches, hey, listen, I want you guys to help support this, talk about it in a class. That really is where the kind of the rubber meets the road, if you will, is my coaches' connections with our members. They have better connections with my members than I do. I have some with it, they're as good, but they're the ones that are seeing them every day. So it was up to them to do it. The other thing I did, CrossFit. We have a holiday party in December. It was the first weekend in December or second weekend in December. I'm sorry, and and CrossFit had just announced the free codes for giveaway for signing up for the Open. So they give you can buy them for $20 each, and you get a code, and you can give that code to someone to use to sign up for the Open for free. At our holiday party, I bought 10 of those codes. So $200, and I put them on a card that I taped to the bottom of the chairs at the holiday party, and then I had people reach under to look, and the 10 people pulled up their code, and it was a free open registration.
Oh, that's
And so,
cool.
what was cool about it too is like winning something is exciting. Didn't they did literally almost winning anything. People are going to get excited. So we brought them up, took a picture, and I told them all, listen, you got to sign up on the first day. That code works, but it'll only work on the first day. And what was neat about that, shortly after that, I talked to one of my members that's a real estate agent, said, "Hey, look, any sponsorship opportunities for Friday nights, anything like that?" I said, "You know what? I got a sponsorship opportunity because I wanted all my coaches to sign up for the open." And look, $20 sometimes is tough for people, or they're not sure. The coaches, sometimes they've done all the opens and they're tired. And I said, buy 23 codes, which is live for what, $460. And we'll let them know. We'll put it on your business card. And I gave it to all of my employees at Diablo. So all
Huh.
my employees got a free registration from Rod, who's a member here, a passionate member, and he's a real estate agent. And it was a great referral effort. He was pumped. He's like, "That's an awesome idea." So he's able to tell everyone. All my coaches went to him and said thank you, and they all signed up for the open. So that was
I
just the
just
start of it.
I just had an idea. Like, so there are some people that are still trying to build participation in open. Your idea of buying the codes and then putting them underneath the chairs just gave me, I don't know why, but musical med ball popped into my head when you said that, like musical chairs. What if you bought, 10, 15 codes and you program a workout with medicine balls? I was thinking of my own gym. The medicine balls are up on a rack and the
Yeah.
numbers are all facing out. So before the class starts, the coach would take the codes and they would tape them to the back of like 3 or 4 med balls, right? And they say, "Hey guys, 3 of the med balls on that rack have a free open code. When I say 3, 2, 1, go, run over and get a med ball. And if you get the med ball with the code, you have to use it and sign up for the open. Or if you've already signed up, give it to someone else." I don't know. I was just thinking about how could we turn that into a membership thing or a thing for our members like right now if we're not doing a holiday party. And that was, see, this is the stuff that you talk about that makes me get ideas of how to implement. And I kind of wish our gym was open right now so I could do that. I don't even know if we'll be open for the gym, for the open though. That's awesome. Let me go back to that screen share because so,
Oh, someone posted the link. Greg, well done, Greg.
oh, thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. So the message was, "Hey, I want this to be our biggest open ever.
Yes.
And in order to do that, and the call to action was, I need you to sign up on day one.
Yes.
Like we need to hit the
Yep.
ground running." Okay,
Yeah.
so that was the message. And the thing is, like, if it becomes priority for the gym owner, because Craig, you're the leader of your tribe, and if it's the priority for you and your coaching staff, like your generals, that your managers, they support you, then that's going to trickle down to the membership. If it's important to the owner, it's important to the coaches. If it's important to the coaches, it'll be important to the members. I love that.
Yeah.
So
That's a trump
how?
card, right? That's a trump
Yeah.
card. We don't pull that often. And
Yep.
you talked about in the beginning is some of the things that surprised us. I'll be honest with you, Zach, is it surprised me the influence that I had upon my community to do it and my coaches. Like I literally just asked for their help. And all too often we don't want to ask them for help. It's the trump card. We want to only pull out, when we absolutely need it. And I pulled it, and the response has been amazing.
Well, there you go. I mean, I agree. You have to reserve it for when you need it. And once a
Yeah,
year for the open and maybe 1 or 2 other times during the year, that call out, that's probably the limit that you get. I think it would depend on the community actually and where the owner is
right.
embedded. But so how did you communicate? Like what channels, what were the tactics you did to disseminate this information, this
Yeah,
message to your members? I mean, you got a ton of members. So
right.
you can't just stand in front of the whiteboard for one class, right? How did you do it?
So two ways. One, I did the kind of global announcement on our weekly email. We get pretty good penetration with our weekly email, but the most significant way to do it was putting it on the main whiteboard in the gym, the main whiteboard where people put their scores. We took the time to do a big, huge graphic, and we put up. And someone told me, one of my employees told you should put the first day goal and the total goal. And that's what I did. Big, bold letters. 100 the first day, 300 overall, and register for the open. And the best part was to my coach. Again, your coach is your best source of ideas and influence, by the way. In my
Absolutely.
coaches meeting, one of my coaches, I'm 63, so I'm a little behind on technology and stuff like that. One of my coaches said, if you just put up a QR code, people will sign up for the open. They need a QR code. I'm like, oh shit, a QR code. How do I do that?
I was the same
So,
way this
so
morning when I was trying to make a
you
QR
can
code.
Google it. You can Google it. You can go to ChatGPT, or even better, you can go CrossFit. You can go on the tools kit and you can go into Canva, and you can create it. And there's a number of posters that already have it on it, the QR code. But it's the easiest thing in the world. And I just printed it out on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, filling the whole paper with it, and I put it up next to the sign in on our board. So a big, you're just using the or dry erase markers, big huge sign. Hey, here's our goals. And then as we reached the 100, it crossed it off. And then one of my manager here said, well, we need to have a 200 goal, make it for February 1st. Boom, we hit that too. And so we
Wow.
had that up as part of it. And
So
now we have a running total on the whiteboard with the QR code.
I love this because this actually will probably lead beautifully into the next part, which is the incentivizing behavior or how to drive behavior. But so you did it very simply. The first thing you did was put out the message and the call to action
Yeah.
in your weekly newsletter to your membership, right?
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Is that like MailChimp or is that a email blast? How do you
Yeah,
send the email?
that's good. So I use MailChimp for I
Okay,
take all the names and I update the list from my push press download. I do a push press download and just download a CSV file, and then you upload it back to MailChimp, and it
perfect.
updates any new members, which is cool. So I use MailChimp, and I literally, what's great about MailChimp too, by the way, you create your format for your email, and then every week I go in, and it takes me about 2 hours a week, but I go in and I just do it. You can replicate the campaign.
Right?
So every week you replicate it, but then I just change the content, but the format's all laid out. So it makes it
Yeah.
really easy to fill in. And then throughout the week you do things, you read things. I'll save it on my phone. I'll screenshot it, save it on my phone, and I just go back through my screenshots and I look, oh, okay, that's right. I want to put, that content there. I want to put that content there. And it gives you the opportunity. And members like reading it. They know what they're going to get every week.
It's
And
curated and it's approved
yeah,
by their tribe leader. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I would totally do that.
The other thing I did too, Zach, that was kind of like it was on that I think was a big motivator, and people had commented about. I got your text is I use push press text feature. I didn't even use it. It's not through Grow. You pull up a list of your members, you just do the member search, and then it says send a communication, and it allows you to see either send an email
Oh, you
or
did
a
the
text
mass
message.
communication through
Yeah, the
core.
mass communication.
Oh, okay,
I
cool.
just
That's awesome.
clicked on the whole thing, and I don't like to do the mass text because we all get bombarded by text messages, so I don't want to be that guy. But again, it's like you choose it when you can do it, and I did it on the morning of the day registration open. I said today's the day, register for the open.
Oh, that's smart because it's today's the day. It's urgent.
Yeah,
It's immediate.
yeah,
It's gonna prompt them to do the thing. So okay, so you put in your weekly email newsletter. You did the mass communication on the day of, and then the other thing was you made it a big announcement on the main whiteboard and you gamified it. You put up a
yes,
QR code. This leads into our next slide. You made it easy for them, and you also gamified it, which I didn't actually put up here. But you made it easy for them in the sense that you all they had to do was scan the QR code and it laid it out in front of them. But gamifying it by putting up the numbers, hey, this is where we're at. This is our goal. This is where we're at. They can see tangible progress towards that goal by signing up. That's super powerful. Be like, if you just update that at the end of every day and a new total goes up on the board, your members are going to love seeing that progress. That's like a PR board almost the same impact, right? Or a
right.
fundraising bar. Yeah, it's the same thing. So awesome. You made it super easy. You made it part of the gym's overall goal, not necessarily your goal, but the community's goal to get signups. What about what about incentives for actually participating or doing the
Sure.
workouts or showing up? Like what did you how did you design the reward system?
Yep. So a few years back, about 6 or 7 years ago, we started doing intramural opens, and we were a little late to the game on intramural opens. And so we started doing those, and after the first year of doing it, we realized that when you do a Friday night lights or a Saturday fun day, or Sunday fun day, and I forget what we called our Saturday morning one. We had a catchy name for that. But when we did it, one of the challenges we had of doing that was getting judges to judge, or one getting certified judges.
Yep.
So we in our intramural open scoring. And we created different categories. And the two things we did want to do with the categories is one, kind of de-emphasize the importance of being the best athlete in a gym. It's not important. We want people certainly to have the fitness goals, but we just didn't want to make that the priority. This is more of a community event. This is the CrossFit Open, not the CrossFit Games Open for us.
Mm.
And so we made the top performance goals for Open 10 to, first place down to 10th place. And then we would give points. So first place got 10 points, second place got, 9, all the way down to, 10th place. And so if you performed well, you'd get one of those points for your teams. And then we did the same thing. And so then we said, okay, let's do the same thing for scaled and foundations. And that's fun because those two can go ahead, and we had some foundations winners that ended up winning and taking first place in their division. So men and women open scores, scaled foundations, um, top 10. And then we did masters, top 5 of each masters, and then we cut our masters off at age 50 and above. And then the best one was top judges. So if you judge,
So top judges, like most no reps?
no, most most number of people judged.
Oh.
And
Oh, I like
here's what's
that.
cool here. So the data for that. So people go, well, how do you get the data for that? Well, there's a couple different ways you can get the data. If you really want to get into it, one, you do the score sheets. You make everybody turn in score sheets, and then someone manually goes through and counts the who does the judging. But what's great about it is as everybody registers their score on the Open website, they track the judge.
Ah.
And so
Oh,
when
yeah,
you
that's right.
so if you go to your gym page and you pull up your gym leaderboard, there's the ability to download a CSV file. In that CSV file is of course, the athlete's name, the workout results, and then is also the judge's name. And so that made it really easy to do the scoring for judges. Now, what happened is the result of doing that is that when we would go in on Friday Night Lights, we put all the heats up on a whiteboard, and the people come in and and they put their name next to a heat for the athlete, and then we had adjacent to that we had the list of the name of a place for the judge's name. We in these last 2-3 years, the judges lists fill up before the athletes list do.
And that's
So we get
because so you can only get so many points from doing the workout, but you can get
that's
way more
right.
points if you judge.
Yes. What that turned into, Zach, was so we do a draft for our intramural open. And at first I thought drafts, that's just corny. I don't think anybody's going to want to do a draft. The draft is so much fun. So the captains, we'll have two captains, usually a coach and a member for each team, and they get together and then I tell them, I give them the list of people that signed up for the open, then I give them and then I give them a list of people that aren't signed up for the open, and they're allowed to pick as they go around. And we basically do, first round, second round, third round. And then as they go through, people pick. And usually the first people to go are the best athletes in the gym, the top 2 athletes in the gym. And then inevitably in the second round or third round, all of a sudden someone makes this hairball pick, and it turns out it's probably the best judge in the gym
Yeah.
that not only is it probably maybe a scaled athlete that not only does well scaled but also are judges a hell of a lot, and it's probably the biggest pointer from past intramural opens.
You
And
know
then
what?
the reactions from the other teams is just it's hilarious.
That
So
makes total sense though, because
yeah.
that's the intelligent coach who's not going for the athletes that are doing the best score, but the ones that are going to earn the team the
Yeah.
most points. And so now
Yes.
you have placed the value of this event not on athletic performance, but on participation
Participation.
and camaraderie and building the community event up itself. That's
Yes.
genius. That's
Well,
awesome.
one of the biggest challenges with getting people to sign up for the open is the anxiety and fear of performance, and I get that, and
Uh,
and even our top athletes get that, especially top athletes that are no longer competing. They feel like there's an expectation that they have to do spectacularly well, and so they have said, I don't know if I'm going to do the open this year. I'm not as good a shape as I used to be. And what we do with the Intramural Open and the events surrounding the Intramural Open is really make it about a community event and basically help take away that anxiety, some of that anxiety, and make it more about bringing the community together to celebrate the methodology and CrossFit in our awesome community that we have here.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I'm never going to probably perform in the open as well as I have in the past, and it's going to decline. I can relate to that exactly as you stated it.
Yeah.
But I would definitely participate in the open if the emphasis was less on performance and more on, hey, we're just making this annual event about fun and learning each other and getting together and kind of making it the workout is the excuse, right? I think that's one of the things that you said in our discussion earlier, and I put that on the next slide. um, the workout, the test is the excuse to be there. And now you were already talking about things that you did for the incentives, um, that seemed very fun, like the draft makes,
Yeah.
like the way that you talked about
Yeah.
your draft made it sound like do you guys do that in the open, or is that with the trainers behind closed doors?
We we have done it live where we Zoom did it. We did it's usually it's in the evening, and there might be a beer or two had, and it's a lot of fun. And so you can share it. You always have to be really careful about about what you say.
Yep, that
And
makes
the
sense.
banter is outrageous that takes place. It is for me and for our coaches and for the members that are participating. It's one of the funnest parts of the open. Here's the other thing you and I see it up there. Theme weeks.
Oh yeah.
We also choose that is again another way to make it fun is we have themes each week, and then the team that demonstrates the most support for the theme of that week, that is most of that we could give it kind of the spirit of the open each week. We give them the team 10 points for really representing that theme, and we're toying around with different themes. CrossFit Milpitas, which is a few miles off from Being he's a redshirt, runs it. They've got over 100 people signed up for the Open. They're doing Intramural Open, and it's Harry Potter theme, and each of the teams is one of the schools of Harry Potter.
Oh,
Um,
like Gryffindor or Hufflepuff or
Gryffindor,
whatever
yeah,
it's. Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So that's going to be their whole theme. In the past, we do our weekly themes are like tie dye, 70s, ski resort, sports teams. This year we're toying around with generational music themes. So rap,
Generational music
rock,
themes.
yeah, rap, rock and roll, and EDM.
I like that.
So each week of the Open, you have a theme, which then the teams have to kind of plan for and operate. And what happens with that is that the the team managers or the team coaches typically set up Facebook groups or WhatsApp groups on their own. This is and plan and plot for each week. And and to earn those points, there's a couple of people that we're not even allowing to be on the same team again because they're so good at it. Setting up tables as they come in, they come in and they fight over for table space that's closest to the floor where the action is taking place, where they can put all their food and drinks for their team members,
Yep.
and like elaborate setups that just full full menu of food, and it turns into this huge competition for which team can do the most for its team members. it's a
You could
it's
you could do
it's
both like
pretty
a chili
crazy.
cook-off and the open at the same time. Be like, hey, we're
Oh
giving you
yeah.
points for the best chili or
Oh,
something like that.
they will do it.
So
Yep.
we got
And
Brandon in chat said they're doing game show themes this year. I like that, like
oh,
Jeopardy or something like that.
that's a
I
great
know
idea. That's a great idea. I
I
like
know one
that.
year someone said that they tried to do like there's all types of pop culture references like Game of Thrones houses or something like that. That would be similar to
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
Harry Potter stuff. So that's kind of cool. Let me toss up that let me toss up the slides again real quick. Um, so themed weeks, that makes total sense. Um, what about things that do you guys do specific stuff for social media? Like, do you
We
celebrate them on social media or something like that?
Yeah,
Like,
we do. So one thing I make sure of, and I think this is important, and it's one of I was thinking about the reasons why there's so many small things that we forget about as to why the open is so important for gyms. But one of them is media content. That content you get in the open is unique, and it will last you many years.
at
Um,
least the rest of the same year.
Right. Just as an example, like, I was searching recently for pictures of fist bumps, right? And so that come from Diablo. All I have to do is I make albums every week of the open pictures that we take, and I put them in a Google album, and then I share it with the community. But in there's like probably every single week, there's probably like 10 to 15 fist bumps, and that's usually from the judge fist bumping the athlete who's laying on the floor or just finished. And there's that, and they're doing the final score, and so my photographers just happen to catch it. That's just small stuff, but people working out. Where you have other people standing behind them cheering them on, that's powerful media content.
Super powerful.
And it's on all I have to do is, so we have a nice camera here at the gym, is I offer one of my members, I pay him $100 to be there and take pictures. And then and your other members they're going to take pictures themselves with their phones and share that content on social media. And then you just ask them to make sure to tag Diablo. And then I just kind of share it in stories, and you're just loaded with story content. But the best is the content that you grab and you put it in an album, you keep it, and you can use it throughout the year for everything, for your website, for your social media, for anything. That's pretty cool.
I will say this: one of the most I potent, impactful things that we did one of the years, it was the most recent year when when we ran Intramural Open, was we also did teams in the draft, right? And we every week the team had to designate one person to be the official photographer for the people
Ah,
on their team. So at any point in time, we had three or four teams, I can't remember, but at any point in time, we had three or four people that were dedicated that week at the event, that Friday Night Lights, to
that's a great idea.
taking pictures of people on their team, and they would create shared albums, and they would tag people, and we had more social media content go out in those 3 to 4 weeks surrounding the Open than almost the rest of the year combined. It was crazy. I think the previous years we had just hired someone to come in each Friday Night Lights like a professional photographer. And what we realized was we didn't get enough because only one person can get so much. We didn't get
That's
enough
right.
of different people. So yeah, and I was also very, very picky. I don't want sloppy movement going up. I don't want sloppy movement happening anyway. But I was very, very picky about what pictures we were putting up for the Open. People leave it all out there. So
Yeah, they
be
do.
selective with the pics that you put up for social media. But we were creating highlight reels. We were celebrating like, hey, it's on social media. We were putting up like, hey, it's these people's first time in the Open. We would list out names if they PR'd during the Open or if they got like their first pull up or something like that. All that stuff was that makes it fun and makes builds a sense of not purpose but accomplishment that your members I think you use the term core memories, right, Craig?
Yes.
Like it's
Yep.
it's creating the core memory and then capturing it so they can relive it later.
Yeah. And they associate that core memory with CrossFit and with you and your gym.
Yeah,
We have
that's incredible.
I've never heard anybody say I regret doing the open. And there's a tremendous amount of anxiety, and it's that, the whole concept of doing something hard. When you do that hard thing afterwards is when you feel that, you get the dopamine rush, and you realize, oh man, this is amazing. But to get people over that first hurdle of anxiety to do it, that's the benefit of the intramural opens. That's the benefit of the theme nights. That's the benefit of all that. Then they come in, they're going to go hard,
Yep.
and now it's burned in them, and even better. And this is one of the reasons why I say it's worth paying the $20. It's memorialized forever. I can go back. An open workout will show up from time to time in our programming, and I'll go back and look. How did I do on that? 14.1. Go back and look at that score. It's there forever. CrossFit's going to more likely to keep that score on their website than any of us would, keep in a journal somewhere. And that's kind of
That's
a
true.
cool thing.
That is true. And so all this, as an owner, I would ask anybody listening, when you're thinking about making it fun, your job is not to make the workouts fun. The workouts
That's
the workouts will
right.
probably not be fun. Like they're
That's
not
right.
supposed to be fun. But you have to think of this from the viewpoint, the perspective that the workout, the test, the open is the excuse for your members to show up and do the other things that you have coordinated, whether that's the food, whether that's the games and the prizes from participation, whether that's Craig, you were talking about a bowling night before.
Yeah, oh, yes, yeah. So that was something I stole from Nicole Christensen and CrossFit Roots, and she has some. If you go to, I think she has it right on her website. You can get in and get access to some of the intramural open stuff that she's done. But she had the idea of bringing the teams together outside of the open events, outside of the gym to create scoring opportunities. And so one of the things she did that I copied was doing a bowling night. And so we did I think it was like a Thursday evening. We took down five, 3 lanes of a bowling alley, reserved them, and then we brought it and we told the teams, hey, bring your teammates, whoever wants to bowl, and they bowl as a team. And we took the top like 5 scores from each team, and gave the team 10 points for winning the bowling competition, and that was a blast.
Regularly
Uh,
learn and play new sports.
yeah.
They get more
She-
points.
Nicole Christensen does she did one last year. I think she's done it 2 years in a row where she does a fashion show competition where they have it dressed in her logo gear, CrossFit Roots, whatever modifications they want to make, and they literally parade members of the teams parade down a runway wearing their CrossFit Roots outfits that they've created. And
That's
she
cool.
said
That's a
that
good way to sell extra retail too.
yeah, she said that was a blast. There's a number of things you can do with those that are after hours or at a different night of the week that really are a lot of fun. It's a great way to bring the community together again, earn points for something different than just doing the open workout.
Cool. So make it fun. It sounds so simple, but there are specific things that you guys can organize and coordinate to drive that experience for your members. I'm going to share this next part, and I wanted to see if I could do it live, but apparently I can't. So maybe portion of the screen share, like if I move it like this. Cool. Does it? Are you guys able to see Craig's top three priorities? Is that what it's showing you guys?
Yeah, it is. I see it.
Okay, cool. So, Craig, I want to challenge you. If you were to rapid fire, give us the top three things you could tell an affiliate owner to do in order to make your open a success. I'm putting you on the spot. I know I didn't prep you for this. What are like
No,
the
that's right.
top three things that you would do or that you would tell
Um,
another affiliate owner?
One, ask your community for help to make the open successful. And
Oh, that's a good. I like
this is
that.
something I would say something in the past that I probably didn't do enough of. And your community includes your coaches and your members. Um,
All right, I love that.
that's a difference maker. They will have. I mean, just as we've done on this call, we're talking, and I'm getting ideas from you about the stuff you've done, and I'm taking down notes here on stuff I can do for the open. You'll get ideas. You get people that want to volunteer. You get people that's like number one. Start there, and it'll instantly motivate you.
Yep, I
And
agree.
yeah, and then the second thing is make this your community event, your best community event of the year.
So, do you mean by like put the
So
resources, put the time
we
and
do.
attention into it?
Yeah, time and attention. So, we all have, we all do Murph, and Murph is a big deal. We do, at the end of the year, we do a charity event for surrounding Grace. It used to be Barbells for Boobs. We call it Amazing Grace now. And then there's There's a couple of the hero wads. There's the Chad 1000, but I think the one that should get your most attention is the CrossFit Open because it's 3 weeks and it will engage you and your community. It's a way for you, it's a way for you to force you to bring yourself closer to community for a 3 week period of time, 3 out of 52 weeks, and it'll carry over for the rest of the year. So you treat it like this is a big deal for you and your community.
Yep. So if you prioritize it, everybody else will prioritize it.
That's right.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah.
What's the third thing?
I think the third thing is to make it fun for you personally and everybody else.
That is making it fun is without a doubt a priority of
Yeah.
just running any event,
Yeah,
right?
but if it's fun for you too,
Oh, make it fun
it,
for the
it, it
owner. Yeah.
yeah, it's easier to do. You make it fun for yourself and for your community.
I think
Um,
I think that's actually
one of the fun things we did last year too, by the way, I'll sneak this one in too, is and it turned out to be great. I'm so looking forward to doing this one. We did our own, we mimicked the open announcements with our own community. We broadcast it. We broadcast it live and invited our members to be the open announcement people on Thursday night. So CrossFit does it at 12 noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we would do it at like 6 o'clock at night with our two members, and that was a blast. It
that
was a blast for us, and to watch our members go head to head in an open competition. It's kind of an open announcement, mimicking the open announcements.
we've done that in the past, and we got a lot of draw for specific events like that, and we would match people up. We wouldn't match like competitive athletes up all the
No.
time. Like we would match up like the gym bros that we everyone knew that they had a
Yes.
rivalry, like the two people in the noon class that always get banter back and forth. Okay, cool, well, you guys are
Yes.
doing 15.1 head to head, right? Or like we did, like, 6 a.m. versus 6 p.m., and we did
Oh, I
like,
love
hey,
that.
6 a.m. class, you give us two guys, two girls, and 6 p.m. class, and we did stuff like that. I don't know if I'd recommend this. We also did spouses. That got really not bad, but
We did one of those. We did a spouse one last year. It was a blast.
yeah, some
That
people
was
really liked it. I'm pretty sure all those people are still together. So,
it's really
um,
hilarious how the community rallies around the wife.
oh yeah, oh yeah, always, always. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Um, Craig, this has been awesome. So to recap, before we get into the Q&A, um, I I can't stress enough that your emphasis on the stance as an owner has more of an impact on the success of the open than anything else, it seems. And when I say
It
the
is.
owner, I guess what I really mean is whoever the leader of your tribe or your community is. Because I know there are some owners that, they do a lot from behind the scenes, and there's a head coach or there's an
Yeah.
affiliate manager or something else, that someone else that is the face of the business. And would you agree that it's probably paramount to the success of the event for that person to take almost personal ownership of it in order for it to be successful?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I just coached a class this morning before I came on here, and I walked into the class and they all looked at me like, "Oh, here it comes." And I go, "Hey, have you heard the Open's coming?" And as the vested person in this, in the gym, I can say those things, and they put up with it. They love it, and they believe it. They're like, "Okay, we know Craig wants us to sign up for the Open." When you're fully vested, you're fully in. They'll get behind you, and they'll put up with all your crap too to
Of course.
continually try to get them to sign up for it.
Of course, you can get away with a lot more than
Oh yeah.
just the other. Oh, well, I bet you the coaching staff could get away with a good amount of stuff. So, okay, so we have personal buy-in. Make sure that you guys have thought about all the channels that you're going to communicate the message to and get your coaches on board. So use social media, but that's not going to be as direct or as communicative as the mass text or an email, personalized email. Use something either like Core's messaging platform or MailChimp, but also in-house, you're going to need some signage. And Craig, I like how you put it up on the main whiteboard and you left people, everybody that basically walked in the gym they're not going to miss that. Then design participation and judging and the competitive aspect or the workouts. Design an incentive system, a point system that makes people feel like it's not just about doing really, really well in the workout or in the test. Give points for judging, give points for being photographers, give points for bringing food, give points for showing up with team spirit. Break them up into teams, have a draft. That should lead you into finding ways to make it super fun. And fun is anything but the workout. I know like you could do a round robin of music, like, hey, have each team has a different playlist every heat or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, I like that one
You
too.
do
Yeah.
something like that. Obviously, the themed weeks, the points being earned outside of the gym at like a bowling night or something like that. There are so many different ways, but as the owner or as the head coach, you guys know what makes your members tick. You know what's going to resonate with fun for your members and lay into that. Remember, the goal is not to place high on the leaderboard. The goal is to get as many people bought in to what you're doing as possible and to enjoy the experience. So, Greg, you got any questions that are popping up?
Yeah, I got a couple here for you. So one from Shannon. They're a little confused on how you're structuring your team. So could you go into a little bit about how you structure your teams and kind of what the points are going towards them to win in a sense? Because in their mindset, the Open is obviously an individual competition. So how are you guys structuring those teams? And then is that to give them a prize at the end? Is it more just for props, etc.? Kind of talk through how you guys do that at your gyms.
Go for it, Craig.
So when we say teams, a team is essentially just a group of people that we put together on a spreadsheet. At the each week, we reward them. We reward their members of their team based upon the things that we want to incentivize. One is, this is a good question. One is um, signing up or I'm sorry, submitting your score to the CrossFit Games website. So
Mm-hmm.
they register for the Open. That's in order to be on a team, you have to register for the Open. So that instantly you show up on the CrossFit page, so you know who's in your gym, and then that person goes on to a team that is selected by the team captain. Some people do a draft. You can just assign them as they come in, however you want to do it randomly. But the drafts are fun. So we reward them. We get every week that they submit their score, we give them a point. If they come to Friday Night Lights. If they attend Friday Night Lights, we see that information in push press because we schedule it like a class. We also give them a point for showing up for Friday Night Lights. So then what that does is the team captain will say, you need to be there at Friday Night. If you're going to do the workout, you need to do the workout at Friday Night Lights because you're going to get a point for the team.
Yep.
And then we will also this is when the variable points come in. We'll give variable points, 10 down to 1 for performance scores, so how they did versus everybody else in the gym. And then for judging, so the number that we give for the top 10 judges, we give 10 down to 1 points. And then anything else that you want to put in there as well, as a point to determine based upon what you want to do to incentivize behavior. We also add in their PR. If someone gets a PR, we give them a point, and the PR is usually determined ahead of time.
Ah,
So, first pull up, first bar muscle up, first ring muscle up. The if you don't do that, then everybody's gonna have a PR in something. Well, the last time I did this workout, I PR, I beat
yeah,
my
that's
old
true.
score.
That's true. Um,
So,
yeah, Shannon, just so it's a little bit more uh, clear on the team aspect. One of the more common ways that Craig was talking about with the draft is, let's say you have a membership base of 200 people, and those are the people that are doing the Open. Each coach, and you have four coaches that are going to be the head of each team. Well, they need 50 people on each team. So what they'll do is they'll each get a copy of the full membership list, and they'll just go round robin. They'll draw straws for the order, let's say, and they'll just be like, cool, I'll go down the list and I'll pick this person. And then the next coach picks their person. The next coach picks their person, literally like a draft, until all people have been divvied up to a team. And then you do the open workouts on a given day or throughout the week. And for every behavior, each person can earn a point that contributes to their team's overall score. So what CrossFit affiliate owners have done is they've taken the individual workouts that are done by the open, and they've turned it into a team participation and community event, or a community building event, through a draft and other means outside of the workout. And Craig, did you just link? Oh, you put that to hosts and panelists. Make sure you put that to everyone, Craig. He's
Oh, okay.
linking his Google Docs that will also go out in the follow-up email. So if you're listening to this right now, you're going to get a follow-up email that has the slideshow and the deck and a link to Craig's Google Docs. Craig, make sure you go in there and put them as view only, so people have to download and or
Yep.
copy them. Otherwise, I don't want them
Absolutely.
messing. I don't want them messing with your files.
Yep.
Um, but we do have time for. Let's do one more question. Greg, can I take the one from Lauren? Was that good? I think. Yeah. Lauren asked Craig. She was looking around your Instagram, and she loved the "I am in the open because" series that you created. Can you talk
Yes.
more about how you collected member stories and shared them?
Yeah, so that was last year we did that, and we'll do that as we get closer to the date of the open. So what we did is we created a little whiteboard, and it said "I am in the open because," and I put it in the front of the gym. I actually put it up on a I just said, made a little wall mount for it. And then what I asked my coaches to do would be have someone take it off the wall and hold it, and then they would take a picture of them. I'm in the open because, and you could shoot a little video if you want. I just had them take a picture, and then what I would do is, highlight the reasons why they were in the open. I'd have them tell the coach what it was. So it was really easy to do. You just have that sign. You keep that sign up in the front of your gym, and then you tell your coaches get one or two members to take a picture holding that sign and give you a reason why they're doing the open. One sentence.
Yeah, I
It's
love
really
that.
cool.
It's
Yeah,
like
and then you
super
post on your
short.
social media.
Yeah,
Yep.
simple, potent, to the point. Boom, posted. That's
Yeah.
great. I feel like everybody could do that with, especially with their raving fan members, the people that they know are bought in.
Oh yeah.
This goes back to what we discussed before we started the entire thing. Matt asked, in addition to personal buy-in from coaches, owners, and leaders, are there any other ways? And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I've had so many people ask this question. Are there any other ways to sway negative opinions of the open from members who, quote unquote, don't care about the open, or, quote unquote, don't want to pay $20 to HQ?
I and I and I said, sure. If in every single one of my members has gotten some benefits from CrossFit, either relationships they've made in the gym that'll last them the rest of their life, or improvements of their health that will affect them as long as they continue CrossFit, or they've learned to move better. That definitely will help them the rest of their life. But they've been influenced or changed as a result of doing CrossFit. And this, in my mind, is a give back to CrossFit to help keep it going. What's interesting is, I look on the leaderboard and I see the people that are around me. I'm 63 years old, and I see the guys that are around me every year. And some of those guys are, in different parts of the world, and some, Asia or in Europe. And it's really fascinating. And I'll go to the Open the next year, and I'll go, "Oh, I remember that dude." And that guy is in somewhere in Europe, and doesn't know me from anything. But I've got this little internal battle in my head where I'm competing with that individual. And what that individual's done is motivated me and inspired me. And the same thing, I know that people will look at my scores and they want to beat my scores, or they want to hang with me. They want to make sure they're in my neighborhood. And we all have those people. You go to the leaderboard, it's there. You see those people. That's a really cool reason to do the open. I remember
Yeah,
that. You have the opportunity to inspire and motivate others to do the same thing, which means they're changing lives. And then think about the people that they impact. It literally echoes. It's the butterfly effect,
Yeah.
and that's worth $20.
Absolutely, that's the thing. That's worth $20. I like to go back to what you said at the beginning, where we're supporting CrossFit and as a company by doing the open, that money ensures that next year's event is going to be bigger and
Yes.
better, and that the message of CrossFit continues to be spread. And it's not like this is going to line the pockets. It keeps I love Greg's point in chat. It keeps them accountable. Absolutely, people are more apt to follow through on things when they're financially accountable. Absolutely, but I want to make sure that HQ has no reason to not make next year's event bigger and better,
I
right?
like that.
And
Yep.
because I know that when the open is bigger and better, as an owner, I can leverage that and I can make it better for my members. And the better that the open is every year, the better, like you said, anecdotally, you see it, your business is better as a result. And that right there, it may not resonate with everyone, but I think if again you're convicted as the owner or as the coach, that might be enough to make someone go like, okay, I'll do it. Now, this was great, Craig. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to send out the link to everyone that has your Google, your Intramural Open Docs, which is,
Yeah.
I think it's like 3 or 4 years worth of like spreadsheets and
Yes.
templates and
Mhm.
stuff that they can work with, which
Yeah.
is awesome. They're also going to get a copy of the deck, which is just questions and notes to prompt people as they go through the process of trying to design their own open. Craig, thank you for being on this call. This is great. I really, really appreciate everything that you've shared with us. It's been phenomenal. Do you have anything that you'd like to say in closing?
Yeah. Make sure you register for the Open. Get all your members to register for the Open. It's going to be an awesome year. The CrossFit's at 70,000. They're almost double what they did last year, and it's an epic Open leads to awesome things for the rest of us. So thank.